This teacher dropped the G, a student when he was 12 years old and ended up having a baby with him and then later marrying him. Talk about a crazy, dirty teacher story. I remember hearing about this case, but a report came out today and it reminded me of it, so I wanted to share the story with y'all. So in 1997, it was revealed that Mary Kay Letourneau, who was a teacher, raped one of her students named Villa Foilot. I hope I pronounced those names correctly. He was only 12 years old at the time of the rape. So she met the student when he was in freaking second grade. She was his teacher in Seattle. She said there was a respect, an insight, a spirit, and an understanding between the two of them, and that it grew over time. Absolutely disgusting. It was said she formed a relationship with him when he was a second grader because he was really artistic, and she loved that and wanted to cultivate his artistic ability. She said at first there was nothing illicit about her feelings. She thought maybe one day he'd marry her daughter or something. But over the next several years, she continued to keep in touch with the child. She would buy him art supplies, she would take him to museums, and she would encourage him to take part in writing poetry. Then, in the fall of 1995, she started teaching him again, and he was in sixth grade. She was reportedly going through a lot emotionally. She was having marriage issues, and then in January of 1996, she reportedly had a miscarriage, and that messed her up really bad to the point of almost having a mental breakdown. At the age of 12, Villa claimed that he bet one of his friends $20 that he would have sex with his teacher. Then it was said he started spending time at her home doing schoolwork. Mary Kay was reportedly in an unhappy marriage, so she said it was then she started to fantasize about the child. Unbelievable. She said she promised herself it wouldn't happen before her divorce. But a few days before the child turned 13, the sexual abuse reportedly began. Then she got freaking pregnant with the child's child. And she said she wasn't angry about it when she found out she was pregnant. The abuse came to light in February of 1997. But what the husband, didn't know at the time is she was already 6 months pregnant with the student's baby. A relative of the husband then called officials at Shorewood Elementary School to report the abuse. She was questioned and arrested a month later. Then in May, she gave birth to her oldest, which is Audrey, and it was 3 months later that she pleaded guilty to 2 counts of rape. Child rape, that is. The former teacher was found guilty of 2 counts of second-degree child rape, and she was then sentenced to 7 years behind bars. But that was after she broke her probation. At first, it was a lower sentence, a few months, but she ended up breaking her probation to go back having sex with a student. They found that out, and then she actually got time behind bars, like years. And when she got out, the two of them got married. So in 2004, she was reportedly released from the Washington Correction Center for Women. This was in August. She then married Villa in May of 2005. And they reportedly had 200 guests at their wedding. Now, who the hell would want to attend that wedding? The two of them then lived together happily with their daughters, Audrey and Georgia. But that was for a few years they lived happily, because in 2017, Villa reportedly filed for separation and divorce, and they finalized that in 2019. Then, less than a year later, Mary Kay died from cancer at the young age of 58, and that was in 2020. This is probably one of the craziest stories I've ever heard, not just a teacher story, just a crazy story altogether. It's truly hard to believe that this took place, honestly. I will never ever understand how someone can look at a child like this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Had y'all ever heard of this case? Let me know. And for more cases of Daily Dirty Teachers, be sure to follow and subscribe over on YouTube.